Once upon a time in the West, those same old troubles in flesh, talking about ignorance and higher dance to make for a mess, polluting our minds. Once upon a time, once upon a time. Come on, we see the roots was badly drawn. Faith in us is growing with every single step that I make. Hey, hey, once upon a time in the now, I try to feel better, but don't know how. Stuck in a masquerade, a wicked game, ran out of cash. My car declined once upon a time. When the curtain falls and the lights come on, we'll see the fake and nothing more. Faith in us is growing with every single breath that I breathe. Once upon a time in the nest, laid all my troubles to rest, stuck in serenity and dignity, thankful and blessed with peace of mind. Once upon a time, thankful and blessed with peace of mind. Once upon a time, but I'm thankful and blessed with peace of mind. Once upon a time.
Hey, welcome to Academy of Tone 180. Tonight's special guest, Andy Susemihl. Yeah, I'm very happy that you made it all the way from South Germany, Ulm, which is a city between like Stuttgart and Munich.
Yep.
And yeah, we have been, well, we know each other kind of for a very long time, but not very deeply.
For a very, very long time.
Yeah, I remember we have a few mutual friends, which is which is so funny because
Exactly.
everybody is connected somehow with everybody. In
It's a small world, exactly, especially in the music business.
yeah, and for me, reading your like history of the bands you played in, it's something very fascinating because the loops or the different bands you played in, to me, are very different from what I've done, but also very exciting to look back at the things that happened in time. And for me, one of the big things was you have been to LA at the time when LA was happening.
Well, I mean, it was kind of happening for grunge. I missed the hair metal days. I was a little bit late, you know. They weren't exactly waiting for a virtuoso guitar player, you know. When I was playing solos, everybody was like, "What are you doing there?" You know. So.
Yeah, but I think you have seen a few things that are, well, exceptional in a way, but on the other hand, I think it would be nice to have a little talk about your career and things that happened and how we look at things these days. I mean, you know, some of the big names, U.D.O, which is U.D.O, the guy, the singer from Accept. So you played with him in a band and you recorded 2 albums, or what was the story there?
Well, I mean, I came in after his first release. I played the big tours with. We did a warm-up tour in Hungary, and then we played like a German tour. And then we went on tour as support of Guns N' Roses in America.
Wow.
Yeah, so for three,
And
4
this
months.
was in which year? 19?
It was 88. And then we recorded the album Mean Machine, which I co-wrote and played all the guitars on it. And we went on tour with Ozzy Osbourne for the European leg.
Wow.
And then for the follow-up record, I wrote a couple of songs, you know, that to say.
So when you look back at this time in your life, is there anything positive, negative? What do you take from it? Being with the guys back in the days doing this kind of things, how important was it? Is there anything special for you? I mean, you know, people like me, I would think, oh, this would be cool to play in such a rock band. I was always a pop musician. You know?
Okay.
So
I was never really like the full on heavy metal guy, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to go different ways, which was kind of stupid, you know. When I look back at these days, I mean, I should have you know, stayed in the band and do like my own project on the side, you know.
Right.
But I was like, back then, you know, it was. I mean, the thinking was totally different.
Right.
I think it was the thinking of the musician of the scene in general. You know, you either played in this band or in that band. You know, I mean, nowadays you have like 6 projects or whatever. I mean, in my times in LA, I was like in six bands at the same time.
right,
know?
yeah.
But it was like unthinkable back then.
Yeah.
So
back in the early days, I know how it was. It's like you have your band, and that's the only thing that happens.
Which is kind of stupid.
Yeah, because we all learned this one band will eventually end.
Yeah.
Or things happen, and then you kind of fuck and start over from scratch.
Exactly.
And having this kind of parallel things going on helps a lot. I have done the same. I wouldn't say mistake, but. I was at the same time. I had the same mindset.
You're always smarter afterwards. You
Yeah,
know? That's like.
But anyway, so this is the lesson we have learned. Like, if you have a major project, work on your own career at the same time as well.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, and use the synergy effects and the contacts that you make.
Exactly. Yeah.
That helps. Yeah, I totally agree. So when you worked with Sinner.
Exactly, yeah.
So Sinner is a German. What is it? Is it metal?
I would say it's metal.
Metal.
It's like hard rock metal. You
Yeah.
know? They were out of Stuttgart.
Yeah.
I did my own bands, my regional stuff, you know. And then I mean, Sinner was my first band that got me out of the regional scene. Like a little
Right.
bit
Yeah.
more.
And the guy behind Sinner was Matt Sinner, the bass player,
Yeah, exactly.
also famous for making this Rock Meets Classic
Exactly.
project and inviting all the international stars, combining this with an orchestra and filling halls.
Yeah, brilliant idea.
Yep, a clever businessman.
Absolutely.
So he knows that thing. So did you take anything from that Sinner experience with you? Is there anything that you learned from this?
Probably it gave me a shift in songwriting, because Matt, he was always he was looking for great hooks. He had a great sense, like for good choruses, for good hooks and stuff.
Catchy melodies.
Exactly. I would say, that was that kind of refined my songwriting. And plus, it was my first professional band, I had a guitar roadie, and it was a totally different scene, totally different world. It really it helped a lot. Yeah.
Cool. And what happened after this? You also have. Was this the time you started to work on your solo career already? No, or was there some other projects?
I always tried to record, which was kind of difficult back then because we only had like cassette 4 tracks or cassette 8 tracks.
Tascam.
Exactly. I had like the Tascam or Fostex 4 track. So you had to play like from one track to the other, and
bounce it.
Yeah, and after like 8 recordings,
everything was noisy.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And then I had the 8-track on Tascam MIDI Studio, which is kind of like a big shift. But I was always trying to record and write songs, and after that I got the offer from U.D.O to join his band.
Okay. And then that was the thing we kind of talked at the beginning. Talking about U.D.O, is there any specific riffs that you remember, or anything? What people might know for those who don't know U.D.O, or who maybe don't know exactly what it was?
Well, we of course played all the Accept songs. Which had like famous riffs. I probably would have to change the guitar for that.
P90s is a bit too bluesy for, but anyway, you can play whatever you say.
I actually played this guitar with U.D.O in Wacken.
Yeah. And by the way, this is a Tandler guitar.
It's a Tandler guitar.
A mutual friend of ours, the grumpy Jörg.
the grumpy Jörg, which you shouldn't ungrump Jörg because it's just part of his personality.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
Yeah, it's adorable. But he's the Mr. Non-Compromise.
Exactly.
I have to invite him to come here, or maybe I visit him. There's so many German guys who have guitars from Jörg, and myself, I have a nylon string guitar that I used lots in the studio on my film music projects and whatever stuff. I have it's not here, it's my maple neck Stratocaster. It's a Tandler, and
he builds great guitars. I have 2 Strats from him and one
Les Paul.
Les Paul.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful instrument. P90s. It's a fat neck. It's the fattest neck I've ever seen, which is like stripped. This is how it looks like from the
nice.
P90s.
Any brand P90s? Do you know?
It's Lindy Fralins.
Fralins.
Fralins. Yeah. I changed my my pickups in my guitars I think 20 times. All my Les Pauls and Hamburgers I use Heusels. These days, but I never changed those because they sound great.
It's that transparency that you get.
And like I said, I played this guitar in Wacken. We had they had they had no amps. They had these Tech 20. What's it called?
Tech 21s.
Tech 21.
I have one here, Sense amps.
Sense amps, exactly. They played with Sense amps. We were just plugging into the Sense amps and blasting on stage. And every
the
time,
small version.
Exactly. Yeah. They had the rack ones. We just plugged in there, and every time I was like I wasn't playing, you know. It was like woot with this
Feedback.
Yeah. It was like feedbacking.
Yeah, well,
Feedback from hell.
yeah, but Wacken you have to play loud. That's probably the thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is there any riffs from that era?
Well, riffs from this. For instance, the big, I mean, the first hit, you know, or the single U.D.O had was like, They Want War. Maybe I should use the other guitar?
Yes.
Okay. I just unplug real quick.
Yeah, just that's a good idea. The thing here we all have to understand is to get the best sound for you guys out there, we have a gate. So when the guitar is playing, our vocal or the speech mics will be muted. So, and when there is a hum coming, you don't hear our talk. It's like, and nobody understands because we will disappear. But that way we can have a pristine amp sound, you know. And humbuckers do help.
Humbucker. It's great because it bugs the hum.
Well, somebody invented that. Okay, we had
wisdom right here.
We had some bad jokes earlier.
That's much better.
Okay, let's play some shit.
So this riff, I don't know if I can remember. It was something like.
Okay, that's.
I was trying to imitate U.D.O. Of course, you can't imitate U.D.O. You can just.
This guy is a non-compromise singer.
Absolutely,
The way he screams.
Absolutely, and he it was like I was playing with him at Wacken, and he was the only guy I've ever seen. He had no monitors on stage.
Yeah,
he doesn't need monitors. He just
he screams and he's still in tune.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I heard also stories from other guitar players that played with him, and I thought, man, how loud is this? Our engineer Julian remembers when we were visiting Stefan. What was his last name? And this guy was playing once with him rhythm guitars, and he checked out the Iridium, and he started like with master volume on 10, and this was kind of the first time Julian was checking out a 4x12 on 10 with a distance of 1 meter. You could see the face like.
Yes.
And this is kind of the noise they always played because he just.
I mean, it's
U.D.O.
like,
is louder than a Marshall in a way.
It was unbelievable. We were driving up to Wacken.
Yeah.
And we had this rehearsal like one day before the show.
Yeah.
Like it was in a back room of like some kind of restaurant or whatever, you know. And there was like a little stage. We used it as for a drum riser. Mm-hmm. And it was so loud. I mean, they used those Marshall 100-watt heads just to amplify the Sans amp, you know. And it was so loud. I mean, I wasn't used to this volume anymore because I was playing really quiet gigs in LA, all 10 years in LA, you know, and ever since, you know, I wasn't playing that loud. And all of a sudden, it was so loud. I was using earplugs like minus 15 dB. And I had this.
It hurts.
Yeah, in my gut, you know, it was like.
Yeah.
Oh. And we were done, and U.D.O. he was rehearsing without earplugs, and I was just like I was sitting there and was like, wow, and U.D.O. was like, "What's up with you, boy? That's heavy metal," and he was like,
yeah,
unbelievable.
That's kind of a guy. Wasn't there another song that was a little bit like Lemmy Motorhead?
A Lemmy Motorhead.
Fast as...
Oh yeah, that's Accept.
That's an
That's
accept sign.
That's something like that. I have to switch this on because you have to have gain for that.
Yeah, and
You mean
then there's a melodic part with
I don't know if I can remember that. You know, it starts with something like. Played it in 30 years, so I mean I don't know if that's like correct, you know, but something like that.
Yeah. I mean, this was.
It brings back memories. That's great.
It's a lot of energy in this kind of non-compromise. Bam. You know, when I think back about my days at that time, I played in like tic-tac-toe in the pop bands, big stages, but everything was like more or less funky, you know. yeah, a little E minor and some other chords. Jam.
Exactly.
Cool.
A variation on E minor.
Yeah, but it always works.
Sure.
Okay, looking back at the career in your music, what else? What other steps were important? I mean, you also played well in German bands. What happens there, or was then the big time being in LA? What's going on there? Was this
Big time in LA.
when was this? Was this coming after U.D.O? I guess.
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course. I mean, I quit U.D.O and I had a short stint with Sinner. Again, I did another record with Sinner, No More Alibis it was called. But I kind of felt the urge to leave the country and go to LA because I had bigger dreams, you know, which kind of crashed on the Hollywood Boulevard, the Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Well,
Well, I mean, I wouldn't miss it, you know, because it made me a better musician, so it was good for something.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But the reality is, most people in this world think the glory LA scene and whatever was the Mecca, and everybody who went there made it. The reality is, some people got some jobs, and these days most people migrated to Nashville because now you told me LA is hip hop.
LA is hip hop, LA is rap, LA is like plastic music, so to say. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, there used to be the hair metal days.
Exactly, which was like the extreme on the other side, which was not really desirable as well, you know. And yeah.
Okay, what about your time in LA? It's so you kind of packed your suitcase and said, okay, I go there and I want to make it, or what was the plan?
I was like, you know, I had like bigger dreams than I thought were like realizable, if it's the right term.
Yeah.
Maybe I just invented a term here.
Everybody understand. Make it real.
Make it real, yeah, to make it come true in Germany, you know.
Yeah.
Because I thought, you know, I mean, LA, I mean, those are the international stages, and you know, I just thought at this time, you know, that was like a better scene to like start from.
Yeah.
And I just packed my suitcase and I flew over there.
And you had a place to stay, which was
Reinhold Bogner, yeah, the guy who does the amps.
So,
he picked me up from the airport, and I remember he picked me up from the airport. I was like totally strung out because I was at the a Frankfurt Fair, you know. I played at the Frankfurt Fair, and we had like I mean, Frankfurt Fair back then it was party, you know.
Yeah, big
And,
show,
I
big
mean,
party.
I mean,
Everybody.
you came back from Frankfurt and you were like 5 years older, you know.
Yeah, too much alcohol, too much party,
Yeah.
and then on 11-hour flight from Frankfurt to Los
11-hour
Angeles.
flight, you know. I
LAX.
went back home briefly, and I remember. I remember my mom. She took me to the airport, you know, and I was like totally out, strung out and stuff. And I went to LA, and Reinhold, he picked me up from the airport.
Right.
And we went back to his home in Silver Lake, and we did like a two-day party, you know. And I was completely jet-lagged, strung out from music
another
fair,
party on top.
and another party. It was
Right.
like, that was my introduction to LA.
Okay, but we have to understand that you knew Reinhold before LA.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how does it come that you fly to LA and stay at Reinhold's place? So you told me that Reinhold is or was living in Germany like 20 kilometers or whatever, 30 kilometers from where you grew up.
Exactly, like 20, 30 kilometers from where I grew up. He grew up. I think his parents still live there.
Yeah. And you did work together as Zivildienst, social work.
Yeah, social work. I mean, you can either go. I mean, back then it was like
Go to the military.
The crazy thing that you had to go to the military or do like social work. You know?
I've done the same thing. I was taking care of elderly people,
Yeah,
serving
same
meals,
here,
cleaning.
Same here. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of
for
driving
6
kids
marks
around.
Yeah. We were here. That's my story. By the way, the guys that know my live album Live in Raalte, there is a guy on the album playing the keyboards, Bernie Whitman. Bernie was the guy that I was doing the social work here. And back in the days when I've done it, you know, we came from school, we were kind of 19 or something like this, you know, 18, 19, just finished school. And then that's kind of the first thing you do. And what you get is, at my job, I had this car, and we were delivering the meals to the older people.
Yeah.
So what
like
happened?
Meals on Wheels.
Wheels on wheels, Meals on Wheels. And what we have done is my tour, so to speak, was a part of Saarbrücken, where I am, and the countryside. And we had those French Renault R4, the guys with this very bizarre way of gear shift. So, and those cars, they actually made it to 140, and we did the whole Wheels of Meal thing with the meals in the back, 140 over the fields, like very narrow ways on the fields with you know where they were growing stuff. Very dangerous, but we were young and we did the whole thing, you know. And then once you met a colleague with another car, you know, the window went down and the salad was throwing out into the next car.
Same here, but with eggs.
You did it with eggs. We did it with a salad. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so this was the wild days. So you remember? So this is where you met Reinhold.
This is where I met Reinhold. I got another funny story. You know, we had like this stick shift cars. You know, like in America they have like automatic transmission, but we had like the stick shift, and there was like a time period when I did the social services like for like 3 or 4 months where it was really hip to ride without clutch, you know, just get the right speed and then put the stuff in there, you know. Yeah. And I was the driver at this time, and I was approaching this intersection, you know, and I was like speeding up and trying to get like into the second gear. And all of a sudden, you know, I had the stick in my hand, and I was like looking down, and I could see the street, you know, I could see the asphalt,
the big hole in the. Yeah.
So I had to ride back. I had to drive back to my co-driver. He was like laughing his ass off. He was like, and I had to drive back to it was like the Bavarian Red Cross at this time. You know, I had to drive back in the third gear, which was kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
These were the days.
These were the days, absolutely, yeah.
So, and this is, you told me another story that that Reinhold back in those days approached you with a modified Fender amp. What was that?
Exactly. When I was like 3/4 done with my social services, like maybe after 1 year or something like that.
I think it was had to do 20 months in total, which was the longest ever.
I think I had to do the same thing. Huh? It was like that crazy at that time, you know. But anyway, so after like 13, 14 months or whatever, Reinhold, he came and did like the same thing. And he was like, I mean, there was like winter, and the guy he came to work in his socks, you know. He had no shoes on. I was like, wow. I mean, this is like, okay.
Reinhold was always, is a special guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's really special. He's a great guy, but he's special, you know, which is not bad. And by the way, I mean, we had like a lot of musicians doing social services at this time, you know, like all the metal musicians of the region. This is why we didn't do Meals on Wheels. We did do Meals on Wheels of Steel.
I get it.
Okay. Anyways, Reinhold, he was like, you gotta play my amp. You gotta play my amp. I did modify an amp and stuff, and I was like, this guy is crazy and stuff like. And he made me come to his flat, which was like in New Ulm. Yeah. And I mean, it looked like terrible. It was like the
Messy
biggest, like,
place.
messy, disorderly
Of
place
course.
I've ever seen in my life. And there was like this amp in the corner. It was like a Fender Bandmaster or Vibrolux or twin reverb or whatever. Like just a top. I mean, no combo, just a top. And he said he played this, and I was like, I mean, this is a fucking Fender, I mean,
Yeah.
we play Marshalls
Yeah,
these
rock.
days, I mean, this is like rock, this is like hard rock, this is like metal, And I played the amp, and it sounded better than anything I've ever heard at this time, Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like really like modified to the max, And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this is like great. And I had a gig with Sinner, like a couple of days later, we played at the Sporthalle Böblingen, which was like a big stage.
Yeah.
And we played support for Lou Gramm of Foreigner. back
Yeah.
Then I remember that. And I was like, hey, can I borrow the amp? I got a gig like in 3 days. And
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, sure. and he was like, I mean, the amp, he looked terrible. It was like cables
Yeah,
hanging
yeah.
out. And it was like, I mean, no.
Cosmetic.
No cosmetics,
yeah.
as far as like optical
Yeah,
appearance
yeah.
goes and stuff. So I took the amp and I went to the gig, and my guys. I mean, everything was like fine, The stage
Yeah.
was like big. Everything was like
Professional
like
show,
professional
yeah.
top. And I walked in there with the amp, and these guys were like, I mean, are you crazy? You can't. I mean, this is like, I mean, you can't play with this amp. And I was like, wait till you hear it. And I was putting the amp. I was putting my Marshall. Off of like the full stack of the two cabinets. I was putting the Fender up there, and I powered it on. I played it, and everybody was like, "Wow! I mean, this is like amazing." And I think that was like the beginning of like the modification era,
Right.
where all the guys modified their amps and stuff.
Right.
So I guess Reinhold was one of the first who did like a great job on modifying
Absolutely.
amps. Yeah.
I met Reinhold the first time in LA. I mean, I don't know when he migrated, but he wasn't that. Maybe in his early 20s. He was still pretty young when he went there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he was working for Andy Brower Studio Rentals.
I never met the guy, but I know who he is.
Yeah, well, I know also who he is. He had a German car, a Porsche, and he named the car Heidi. And
Okay, that's the appropriate name for a Porsche.
yeah, of course, a silver one. And then for some reason I had to be there, and whatever it was. It must have been early 90s. And then he introduced me to his shop, and then there was a guy sitting there and having a modded Marshall, and that was Reinhold. Hey, here's the other German guy. You can speak German, no? So. And then me going, okay, schön. And this was Reinhold Bogner. And then he had that modded Marshall. There was no Bogner amps then. There was no Bogner brand or nothing. He was just working at that shop and having his first whatever amp that he might have brought from Germany. I don't even remember. It's so long ago. But it was a cool amp. That was all I remember. And then another story I remember talking about Bogner amps is, I think it was a Frankfurt show. Maybe it was Frankfurt, maybe another show. I just finished a demo for Using Kettner or something. And then, I don't know if it was Reinhold or a sales rep for Bogner who was very nervous coming in and said, we have this demo slot now and my demo guy is not here. And I said, no problem. Give me the amp. I think it was an Ecstasy. I know amps. I make a Bogner demo. It's just for fun, It says, okay, ladies and gentlemen, now forget what I have said to you earlier. This is a beautiful amp. This is an Ecstasy and it had this channel and that thing. So I knew that. And I had a Fish preamp.
The Fish preamp, yeah, was great.
That brighter blue
Exactly,
aluminium color.
The legendary Fish preamp.
Yeah. And it sounded good. I used that in the studio for a while. And I like his cabinets. I still have a 112 cabinet. And lots of people copied that cabinet. Maybe he copied it too, I don't know. But it's a great cabinet. I kind of like his voice in amps. Always
Absolutely,
liked.
yeah.
I always could connect it very, very easily to what he has done. So, and then you ended up being in LA. Reinhold picked you up,
Exactly, yeah.
and then you lived with him.
I lived with him for like I think like 2 years or so. Then I
Wow.
was I mean, you know, the story that kind of sums the whole experience up was like, you know, I mean, he picked me up from the airport. We did like a couple of days party, and I was like, at one point I was like, guys, I mean, everything's great, but I'm a little bit hungry, you know. And he was like, okay, let's go have some food. And we went down to like this Chinese or Asian place. There was like a mall down the road. And yeah, this is good food, you know. This is where we go, like sometimes, you know. And we went into this Asia restaurant. Reinhold, his co-worker, and me, and the guys. The lady, like the bartender, I mean, she saw us and she was like, "Oh my God, the crazy people!"
So the reputation was already there.
The reputation was already there, you know. And yeah, so that was it.
Okay, hey, we have some of you brought some of your amps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I put them in the switching system.
Just unplug that.
Yeah, and yeah, and by the way, this is your amp one rig with.
Exactly.
We can talk about this later.
We can talk about
yeah, with some pedals, which are also interesting. So now you number 4, which I don't know which one it was.
We can just turn on both, right?
This is low or high?
Down.
Down.
So that's the Goldfinger.
That's the Goldfinger.
It's Goldfinger 45. You actually have the Goldfinger 45 and the Goldfinger 90. But this one is with 6V6 tubes, which I personally prefer.
I personally like that amp a lot too. I know a guy who has one, and I played it. And
now you know too.
Really? You?
Yeah.
And Holger was the guy with the Goldfinger. Holger, I was giving a like a masterclass, and this guy had one, and then I tried it out, and I liked it a lot. This has the spring reverb.
Exactly.
And it has a tasty tone.
Yeah, I mean, I usually use like pedals before it. I use it like as a platform, you know, to like a canvas to paint on. But this is like just a stock sound now.
Okay, this is my usual game. You play your amp, and then I A/B and try to make it similar sound with the amp one, and then I tell the people the settings of this amp and this amp. Maybe I don't get there, maybe I get there, but we all can learn from what we are doing. So this is, you set this up for your guitar and as you like it.
Kind of. That's the second channel, you know. That's the reverb, yeah.
as you could hear, I switched back and forth the two amps. They sound very similar. And what I found interesting is this is middle position. So usually when I have other amps and other people, it's not middle position. But this tells me that's my sound.
Okay.
And this amp is my sound as well.
Okay.
So if I wouldn't have my amp one, if I wouldn't have made BluGuitar, if I wouldn't design amps, I would have bought this amp.
Okay,
Because
okay.
it sounds so close to what I, you know, I mean, usually you tweak knobs to your liking.
Yeah,
And if you look at this, it's like bass in the middle, everything is in the middle. It's just the vintage channel. All I have done is I reduced a little bit of the gain to get it.
Yeah, I mean the amp doesn't have a lot gain, you know. This is why it's great with pedals,
Yeah.
which I don't have connected. I mean this is like straight into the amp now.
But it's a pure sound. And well, just let me play it for fun. Where's my pick? And I play my real Strat because then it's 100% me. Let me see what I would do. Oh fuck. And one. So I think it's in the same direction. I could tweak a little bit here or there, but it's like if you don't pay attention, it's similar. Let me show you something of that beautiful reverb. I think for a real spring, Acoutronic spring, usually they sound so springy that they are only surf. But what I like, what Reinhold did on this one, is he made it, even though it is a real spring. I mean, we can.
This is a real spring.
So,
There you go.
okay. The real spring, he voiced it in a way that it is to my ears even ideal, because some of the Fender spring sounds they only surf, and this has nearly a plate quality. But being a spring, it is. I think this is one of the best spring sounds that I heard from a real spring, for my taste.
Okay.
It's all a matter of taste.
Yeah, it's
You know,
beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's even out. It's like, you know, it sings. No? For a spring, usually you would more pling, ploing, 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 which is great for your surfing. But this has a more even balanced quality, which I prefer personally.
Absolutely, yeah.
No? So, I have no real spring, I have no rattling, and again, same direction.
Exactly, yeah.
No?
Yeah.
This is all tube and real spring, and this is one tube and different, but a similar taste, which, for me, exciting. So. Yeah, in my next life, I play this amp.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't play the amp one, which I always take with me, because it's just, I mean, it's a great amp, you know, but I don't want to carry amps around with me anymore.
I mean, the funny thing is, I can see some dust on your amp one has been used.
I used it a lot, you know.
Yeah.
I mean.
For the last 2 years, or how long?
Yeah, since I got it. I mean, I used it a lot. I took it to some festival with David Rees in Hungary and in Romania, Sweden, and I played it here. I mean, with my band, like.
Yeah. I saw some of the videos and stuff like. By the way, what are your settings on your rig? Just for Let's hear your amp one settings. so people can understand. Oh, it's also again pretty much basic stuff in the middle, right?
It's pretty much in the middle, yeah. I mean,
Did I switch you off?
through the equipment here, it sounds kind of. You told me out there it sounds different.
Let me explain for the guys on the in the stream, watching the stream. What we are listening to here is our studio monitors. The studio monitors are very tiny crested speakers, and they are not too bright. So this is always when I tell people, be careful with the brightness because it sounds brighter out there. Hey, which one are you showing? Is this one? Other side. Wait a minute. Let me do something which I never do. I switch sides and I turn it around so people can actually see it. Is this the... I hope I don't disconnect us. Yoo-hoo! Can you see it? And can you see how small it is? This is my hand. That's the woofer. I think it's a 4-inch or like nothing. Okay? But anyway, this is where we listen to the guitar sound, and it's okay, but my experience is if it's too bright, if it's bright here, it's too bright on the stream. So that's the thing why I told you be a bit careful with the highs.
Yeah, okay. I usually turn off the treble a little because I got the sensation that it's. I mean, when I play live, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of getting too bright here and there.
4 is a good setting, right?
4 is a good setting, yeah. 4 to 5.
Yeah.
I got the middles on 5, 6.
Okay.
To make it a little bit more, to stick out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because the mids, I mean,
focusing.
you know. And the bass, 5.5. You know? Reverb 6, overdrive, gain.
6.
What
maybe.
is it?
I think it's 6.
Yeah, something like that.
What I can
and
see.
And the master like 6.
Yeah.
You know, so sound with a humbucker. The clean sound.
Yeah, cool.
And I often just use like the
vintage.
The vintage. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
Then I boost it here with a
Spark.
Spark. It's like in the center return loop.
That's something interesting. A lot of people ask me about how to get like a solo boost, and the Spark is your choice.
I mean, it works great. I got a negative boost at home.
Yeah, one of these. I have a negative boost here. Minus
yeah,
booster.
It's the same Orion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orion. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
You have that thing.
I got the same thing, but that works great for me.
Okay, and that's the point. Just from a technical point, explaining. That is reducing the level inside the effects.
This is boosting.
It's boosting.
Yeah.
And for the amount of boost that you get here, you are happy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There is a point where you can, when you drive it really hard, the tube the nanotube in the amp one will get saturated more.
Okay.
So in a certain range, it's cool.
But I don't want to have that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if it's way too loud, it gets fluffy because tubes are animals that don't like too much pushing in a way. You have to be careful if you have a linear boost with tubes. But for the range that you use, it is fantastic. I like it. I
mean, it gives me like enough volume boost. I just want to have a volume boost, like a neutral volume boost, without any gain or whatever. You know.
Yeah, so. Sounds killer. I like it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then if this is like the stock rhythm sound.
Yeah.
Bit more gain. I just use the overdrive section of the Twimble.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. This vintage channel is a classic Marshall-esque channel that is designed to handle pedals. And I mean,
this is all you need. This is all you need.
Yeah, we all love pedals, and and what is the Alexander pedal? It's the delay.
Oh, that's just a delay.
Sounds pretty good.
Got a tap delay here.
Yeah. Okay.
You know. And sometimes I use like the modern. Just give it a little bit more boost. You know.
Yeah. Cool. Anything special about this tuner here?
Well, it's small. it's small and dusty. It's a strobo tuner, which I think.
Okay. So you can see the action going.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharp or flat.
I'm totally blind, you know, so that's kind of great when I'm on stage.
Ooh, makes you dizzy. Turn this way or that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's close enough for rock and roll.
Exactly.
Cool. Then we have another Bogner amp, which I would like to hear as well. I just put this Goldfinger on the standby mode, and then I give you my cable again, so we can listen to. No. This must be it. Can you play?
Yep.
What's the story of this one?
No, that's a little bit more of a aggressive amp. That's the Helios 50.
Yeah.
You got the Helios 100 and Helios 50. That's the Helios 50. It's a little bit more of an aggressive amp. Usually I use pedals before that as well. Now I switched to B2. You got like for every a channel you get like 3 EQ settings, like neutral, B1 and B2, and B2 is just like the most aggressive mid setting, you know.
And there's like a switch from 70s to 80s, so you are on the 80s switch.
Yeah. Switch it to
no, just whatever you like.
I mean, it's just it's a little bit a tiny bit, a tad more saturated, and I forgot to switch to the 70s mode because. Just a little bit louder and a little bit less saturated.
me, I'm still using the vintage channel, but I use all the gain. Otherwise, I don't get there. I was torn to try the boost. Sometimes I thought it's too much. Sometimes I thought, but and again, funny thing.
This is how much gain it produces, because I got the gain on like 10 o'clock, 10:30.
Yeah, which is not too much.
Which is not too much, But
Yeah, but this is your sound, and this is.
Well, yeah, I mean, kind of.
Yeah. Okay, for the guys, just to understand here, no gain reductions, just standard mode, full gain, and interestingly, a little less bass. So I had to reduce the bass here to, what was it, 3.5. Middle, a little push in the middle, like 6, and a little less treble for some reason. Anyway, that's how to get in this kind of sound, which is again also nice.
You want to play a little bit?
Oh yeah, okay. Let me play your guitar just for fun.
Okay.
I've never.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Play it a little bit. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. You want to have a wee.
Exactly.
Okay, I have a go job. I think we have just lost the cable, which is this one. Okay, now this is the sound designer curiosity sound check test. Okay, we have too much of everything. Let me see. Even too much bass. We need more ha-ha. Let me try the classic channel just for a change, because now I'm way too loud, but I want more O. Classic channel just because I play differently.
Okay.
And I'm curious. It's funny. Yeah. The mids can be super.
I mean, this B2 setting is like mids all the way.
Focused, yeah, yeah. So, and that
Great.
setting here is the classic channel with the gain on 7 and the tone counterclockwise, and then we have bass on 4, middle on 5, and treble on close to 5. Cool. Nice guitar, by the way.
Well, it's a stock. I just ordered it and kept it.
I love gold top. If Les Paul,
Yeah, it has to be a gold
top, right?
It's just, I think it's a standard 2020 or whatever, you know.
Okay. So,
Just modify the pickups.
hey, we have tons of your solo work.
Yeah.
20 CDs. What is the story about? Where do we start here, or?
I mean, this is actually something I did like after being in LA for like 1 year.
Okay.
It was like produced by me, of course, and a friend of mine, Rudi Hausmann, great guy from Switzerland, and Reinhold Bogner.
And Reinhold Bogner produced a musical CD, Andy Susemihl, Live Among the Roaches.
Life Among the Roaches.
Live.
Life Among the Roaches.
Live Among the Roaches. So that's this one. Okay. What's the story about, or is there any riff that comes to mind? Wait a minute. Do you want to play your rig again? Then
Switch it off, huh?
I switch it off here. Good. Can you play that rig again? So I play that,
Okay.
and we are going back to normal. it's what's going on in this? Tuner.
Oh man, a riff from this.
If not, we have too many others.
Yeah. I think the riff of the first song was like something like.
Cool. Let me see if I can. No, I have no cable. I have no sound. Why? Because I'm fucked. No, because I unplugged the amp. Cool. Yeah.
Something like
Cool.
that.
Cool riff. Okay. So this was.
That was the first one. So
Live.
so I ordered the CDs like in consecutive order. This was like 94 or whatever. You know, it was like the first year I did.
Okay.
And this is like I don't
King
know.
and the
it was
Giant?
Like 2007 or whatever.
Fallen. Oh, is it Deutsch? No, there's
No, King and the Giant.
Fallen.
Huh?
Is das Fallen or
Nee,
Fallen?
Fallen.
Okay.
Fallen, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any story about this or next? We have so many.
Any stories of that? I missed one CD. It's called 797, and this was like the follow-up CD. We kind of ended the band, and it would have been the second 797 CD, but I just did it. I wasn't finding a great name for a band. I didn't want to like carry on with this band name, so I just said I just
solo record.
fuck it. I just name it as my like in my name.
And then something that we know you for touring these days, it's Susemihl and Super Friends.
Exactly, you know, I did like the first one, which was like an instrumental. I don't have here. I forgot this in my car, you know. But this was like the second volume 2, which is like which I had like a couple of guests on there.
The Super Friends.
The Super Friends, exactly. Susemihl and Super Friends.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly, you know. If you're Susemihl, you have to have Super Friends, you know.
Yeah, of
I
course.
was just like, I was just thinking, what can I make of my name? What kind of funny twist can I give to my name? And then I had like the Susemihl, the Superman logo.
Yeah,
and I just turned the Superman logo in like Susemihl, you know.
Yeah,
so
super cool.
It's not
Super
not,
cool,
It's
yeah.
not something that that I'm important or whatever. You know, I just thought it was a funny twist.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
so
it's
that's-
nice.
was like-
I did remember that very easily. When I saw that album, it was like, I knew you, but the Susemihl and Super Friends it makes sense for me. And I memorized it immediately. It was like, bam. Okay, the Super Friends, the Super... this was the album?
Yeah,
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. The
No,
first one.
I guess you have more.
Exactly. And then this was like, actually, I wait a second. This was like the German
Follow-up.
the German album I did like. It wasn't the follow-up. This was like the follow-up up to the first one. But then I had I was playing a stadium tour like in Germany with Roland Bless from Pur, which is a big band out here.
Yeah, the German Snow Pur, Hartmut Engler, and,
Yeah, exactly.
and everybody sings Lena da 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 da
Exactly,
la
yeah.
la la la.
And we did like the whole summer tour in support of Unheilig, which is like a big band here.
Yes.
And I thought like, wow, I mean, this is like kind of successful stuff, you know. So I thought maybe it's not a bad idea to like do a
German lyrics album.
German lyrics album.
Yeah.
And I did this one, and we had like 3 singles and a total of 2,500 plays on
That's the radio.
on the radio, conservative radio in the German-speaking area, like Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, which is not bad, you know, for nobody, you know.
Of course.
And we had like a top 1 single on the MDR charts, which is like one of the biggest stations in Germany. And I mean, the people must have liked the
Yeah.
song, you know.
I mean,
So-
the thing about German lyrics for Germans is the stories really make sense. I don't know what any specific topics you wrote about it. I mean, the title is Alles wird gut, everything is fine, or
yeah, which is
or
kind
will
of
be fine.
kind of an ironic statement.
Because things weren't that bad or that good. So,
No.
So you're trying to make it a positive twist from.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, it was pretty hard to write in German because usually I grew up with English music,
yeah.
and I have to say I'm not just writing lyrics. I really turn them around a lot, you know, and I'm taking like days and days and weeks and months
to tweak it.
To till I have really the lyrics I want to have, you know. I mean, all my lyrics, I'm really proud of my lyrics, you know, and I have to really say that that they picture like a certain, they picture what I wanted to say, you know. So it's a work in a work, so to speak.
Cool.
You know.
German sing.
Also the English lyrics.
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
And I had this one song by Dear, it was about my mom. You know, I wrote it for my mom. She was like, she died of dementia, and I wrote those lyrics about her. You know, and it was kind of the start of the thing. And then I went on tour with Unheilig, and I was like, well, maybe I should do a German album. You know, so
cool.
that's that.
So then we have Burning Man.
Exactly. Actually, this was like first.
Okay,
this
then
was
we talk
Elevation.
about it.
that was first.
Okay.
That was like 2017, I believe. 2017 or 2018. You gotta check it out on YouTube. I think Aeroplane, which is like the hit, so to speak. It's a great video. I think the lyrics really came out great. I think they really make sense. I also have a lyric video with a German translation for Aeroplane. You know, so just check out my channel, you know, and my YouTube channel, and you'll find it.
Super.
Exactly.
Super meal. The burning meal. The burning man.
The burning meal.
Yeah.
The burning meal, not the super meal, the burning meal. No, the burning man. It was like we had like a luxury problem because I think this last album, Elevation, came out pretty good, and I was like, I can't write an album like that anymore, you know. So I kept on writing, nevertheless, and I had like all of a sudden I had like 18, 19, or 20 songs.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna do like a double album? And everybody said, I mean, nobody will buy a double album, you know, because it's too expensive, and like double albums, they're so like 1988 or whatever, you know. So I decided to make like an EP in advance of the real release, and that was Burning Man. I read the story of the guy who came up with the Burning Man festival in Nevada. And it
that
I
inspired
thought
you.
That inspired me.
Yeah.
It was like a kind of a nice story, you know, and I
Yeah.
it was like the title track.
Cool.
this album.
So what is this one?
And that's Alienation.
Okay.
After releasing Elevation, I thought it was like kind of a nice idea to make like a
Follow
trilogy.
up. Follow up.
Because Elevation was like, well, I mean, I guess I don't want to get too esoteric, but I think, you know, people get smarter and smarter, and there was like a kind of a elevation, you know, like viewable, like in society.
Next level.
Exactly, you know, combined with a follow-up of like an alienation, like in society, people alienate each other, you know, from each other, and that's the purpose behind the name Alienation for this album. Like there's some nice guests on this album. Francesco Giovino, he played a couple of tracks. He's a great drummer. I met him on Wacken when I played with U.D.O. Great drummer from Italy. Peter Baltis from Accept, he played a couple of. He laid down a couple of bass tracks.
Yeah.
And whatnot. My friend Andrew LaBelle from Richmond. He laid down some drum tracks. He played with Vinnie Vincent of Kiss and, you know, some other guys. My drummer who plays with me right now, Harold Wester, he laid down two drum tracks, obviously because he's the drummer.
Okay, Alienation. Then.
And that's the latest release, Rapture. Yeah.
And did we play a song from that?
We played a track off of this album,
which is
Once Upon a Time.
Well, yeah.
It was like the opening track we played.
So we just did with two guitars, but this is with a full band.
This is with a full band, exactly,
yeah. So that's the latest album, guys.
That's the latest album, yeah.
You have to buy this, and
it's all available through my website. If if you want to support independent music,
it's very important, guys. Support live music, support independent music, because nothing wrong about Madonna charging whatever £300 for a place to see her still alive and dying soon.
yeah.
But there's so many other great musicians that play their asses off, and they deserve to be heard and to be supported. Therefore, we have to buy that music, and this is why, I mean, we talked about it. Why we doing it? We are in for making music, not for making money. It's like music is the key.
Absolutely, and I mean, like we talked before the show. I mean, this is like what we do. This is the essence of our life. This is what we are.
Yeah.
We do it for fun, but then on the other side, we don't do it for fun because it's the stuff we have to do, And this is like
it's a mission. We are on that.
It comes from the heart,
Yeah. And there's no other choice. I mean, there's other choices to make money, but you have to take a decision. Do I sacrifice my life for making money, or do I sacrifice my life for doing the thing that I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes don't make that money,
Yeah. I mean, it was never a choice for me. I had to do what I had to do. I had
Sure.
to make music. I remember when I was like 16 or whatever, I was like working in the office of the factory where my mother was like working. I did like a holiday job, to make some money, and she was like initializing. She was like telling her boss, to talk to me and talk me out of making music,
Nice try, but it didn't
And
work.
I was like down there, I was like screwing some parts together
Yeah.
or whatever, And he came by and I was like, hey, I mean, we need to talk, And you need to have like a real job, And don't you want to like when you are like in 20 years from now, do you still want to play other people's songs, And I was like, no, Mister Whatever, I'm playing my own music.
Yeah.
I'm writing my own songs, And I mean, this is, and he was trying to convince me like for like half an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
And he went back to my mind. He was like,
No way.
this guy's an artist, I mean, this is like,
You have to live with it.
you have to live with it.
Sure.
You just got an artist for a son, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that, So
Hey guys, this is life. This is life. And
is
for me,
life.
that's life of an artist. And this is, for me, one side of this episode, to go through, through a life, basically. I mean, it doesn't have stopped. It will continue. But we are at an age where we can look back a little bit and reflect a little bit on it. And this is how you take decisions, and this is the road we are going on, and this is what happens.
exactly.
And we have to pay our price for what we pay. Other people have to pay other prices.
I mean, in retrospect, I mean, I would have done some things a little bit different. I did some stupid things.
Of course, we all did.
But I would never like twist like the big screws.
Yeah. This is so important.
I would always end up in music again.
Here is a German phrase. Okay, I say it. U.D.O says, Kunst kommt von Können. Kunst.
Art comes from you have to.
Yeah, Kunst kommt von müssen. Okay. I give you my German answer, which is very cynical. Is Kunst kommt vom Können und Wulst kommt von Wollen. Oh, that's mean, but it's only for the Germans. Okay. But U.D.O is right. Kunst kommt nicht von Können, Kunst kommt von müssen. Ne? Kunst kommt von müssen. But this is your inner urge to do things. There is no other choice. This is like,
You got no choice, no. And I don't want to have a choice,
Hey, we have Andy is killer. I nearly have all albums here. So
Thank you so
cool.
much.
Yeah. Somebody says, did I miss the high gain stuff? Yes, you did, because we have medium gain. We are not a super high gain.
Exactly.
No?
Yeah.
I will do a super high gain episode one day, but not today. This is with all the respect for sounds. Tonight were Andy sounds.
You don't need that high gain stuff. Like, I think. Well, I mean, I talked to Wolf, the guitar player from Accept one day, and he said he's playing like with a really low gain, you know.
Yeah, Wolf Hoffmann.
Exactly. Yeah. And I also have like low gain pickups because I think the low gain stuff sounds better, you know. You can always add
extra gain from the amp or pedals.
Yeah, yeah.
But I totally agree on that philosophy, at least for my approach, is if the guitar is already having too much fixed output, it's a one-trick pony. And it doesn't breathe anymore.
No.
And it's much easier to fill that gap between what you want and what you have with extra whatever.
Absolutely.
Electronic can do
that. You can
that.
always turn down. Play this like.
What's my sound? guys, I think this was some fun at the end. I think we talked for 2 hours or whatever. It feels like long.
I don't know.
And it was a great time to have you here, and I really enjoyed.
Same here.
Yeah, Andy, big pleasure. Always welcome, and I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did. What's going on in the chat? Andy war einige Mal in Ochsen in Maulburg. You know that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oxenmaulburg.
So
Great
people-
place. Great place.
Yeah, so,
Uwe. Say hi to Uwe.
okay, so there's one thing about next week. We might have Oli John Roth here.
Whoa.
Yeah, he just called me yesterday, and he said this was funny. He was watching me demonstrating his guitars, and he said it's not possible because they are not designed to play them sitting. How did you do it? You know? And I said, I don't know, but I couldn't change the set when we were filming it, so I had to make it. And he said, you were even in tune, even playing bar chord. How did you do it? So we had a funny conversation, and he said, yeah, why not do a live stream? He will be in the UK, but let's see. Maybe that works out next week. But I'm.
Wow.
I had some fun with Uli yesterday, and I mean he's another German icon of.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a monument for himself with Tokyo tapes back then. I mean, it was
big
great
scorpion.
playing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And States of Sharon is another one with unbelievable technique and speed and stuff like that. In 1976, when we all were shitting in the pants, being at school. Hey, so thanks guys for joining in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
And now we have another beer. See
Absolutely.
you guys. Bye bye.
See ya.
Cheers.